Dilip Sinha, former senior diplomat, joins us and he will help us understand the story a little more. Ambassador Sinha, in allowing the transshipments to the landlocked Bhutan and Nepal, what was India doing? I mean, are there, obligations for that, or is it just honoring the neighborhood first policy?
It is essentially a matter of honoring our neighborhood first policy and also a general commitment that we have both towards Nepal and Bhutan to enable them to maintain their connectivity not only to the sea, because these two are landlocked countries, but also to enable them to use Bangladesh for their exports in case they wish to use the Bangladesh route. So it is essentially in the spirit of the South Asian camaraderie that we feel that Nepal and Bhutan should be excluded from this this restriction that we have placed on Bangladesh to use transshipment facilities through India.
And how stunted has Bangladesh's access now become to international markets as a result of India ending this transshipping route?
I suspect that it'll affect Bangladesh's exports considerably because Bangladesh's own connectivity to the rest of the world is limited because of its port facilities and flight difficulties, which is why Bangladesh had started using facilities, air cargo facilities and port facilities in India, using the land route to promote connectivity and promote its exports. Most of Bangladesh's exports go to the Western countries, to the US, which is the largest market, and then there's West Europe, and garment is the most important export for Bangladesh. So it certainly reduced transport costs for Bangladesh to be able to use transport facilities through India. But as mentioned by our spokesman, the congestions that were being caused in Indian airports and ports were a factor. But I think it is also a reaction to what Chief Advisor Yunus had to say about Bangladesh's policy towards India's northeastern states when he was in China. That has also impacted this decision.
Indeed, and Bangladesh, lacks direct land connectivity with China. So surely it understands that it has limited geographical opportunities other than India. And why was Advisor Yunus, what is he expecting from China?
Well, what he told China was that China could use manufacturing facilities could invest in Bangladesh. And he said that if China used Bangladesh as a base, then it would find the northeastern states of India a kind of a captive market, because the northeastern states, according to Yunus, are landlocked, and Bangladesh is the only access to the ocean for these states. Therefore, China could use Bangladesh as a base to export to India's northeast. And he also talked about, and there are reports about China getting air and military bases in Bangladesh. So these two factors clearly irritate India, because it enables Bangladesh to project itself as a base for Chinese interests, which will compromise our economic and security interests.
Indeed. The buyers too, from what I've read, they have been looking for the Indian route for Bangladesh products because it's cheaper for them to import. Now, other routes become costly for them. Bangladesh should understand that. Also, Bangladesh would need to develop better air and sea infrastructure within their own country rather fast, and that's not possible. Do you see they're hoping that China would invest in something like that, but that could lead them to a Chinese debt trap? I mean, I'm just throwing some ideas here.
Well, that is in the nature of China's economic relations with countries. China's economic practices, its debt practices, are extremely predatory, and Chinese loans lead to a debt trap. This means far too commonly seen in various countries of Asia and Africa. So Bangladesh cannot possibly be an exception to it. Bangladesh was able to use the connectivity provided by its larger neighbor India to promote its exports, as I said, to the Western countries. And a number of major companies that were sourcing their products, especially garments from Bangladesh, found the transport connectivity of India to be easier and better for them to import goods from Bangladesh. Now, for some reason, Bangladesh, especially the present government, has chosen to lean towards China. Now, as you know, under Sheikh Hasina, under the previous government, Bangladesh's relations with India had improved considerably, and India had offered all these facilities in the interest of promoting both bilateral relations and Bangladesh's own development, which led to a sharp increase in Bangladesh's per capita income. But the present government has chosen in its own domestic political considerations and other factors to forego those facilities and to try lean towards China in this, which will harm not only India-Bangladesh relations, but also the economy of Bangladesh itself. Bangladesh has already turned towards the IMF for further tranches of its 4.7 billion loan that was agreed to 2 years ago, and that not only that those IMF loans will continue, but also Bangladesh will possibly find itself borrowing from China, because any Chinese projects in Bangladesh that Bangladesh wishes to have will all be in the form of loans, which are very difficult to repay.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Ambassador Dilip Sinha. Thank you for throwing light on this story for us.